Come see us on tour in Los Angeles, Honolulu, Dallas, Texas, Baltimore, Atlantic City, Cohoes, New York, and Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets, and only there. Hey, so guess what? There's a bit of a conflict of interest in the Luigi Mangione trial.
What?
Yeah, you want to hear it? Guess what? Here our friend Nick Cruz is here to tell us.
The judge overseeing the Luigi Mangione case has a massive conflict of interest, as she is literally married to a former healthcare executive and has millions in stock in the healthcare industry. The ruling class is not even given the illusion of giving Luigi Mangione a fair trial. The ruling class is desperate, as they completely lost the narrative.
So is that why they're treating Luigi more harshly than the illegal immigrant who just lit a woman on fire in the New York subway and watched her burn?
Yeah.
Is this why? Maybe this is why. Okay.
You know, psychopath stood there.
And
the cops came, didn't even know he did it at first because he was standing there. They're like, sir, you got to move.
Luigi Mangione.
Luigi Mangione dropped. Yeah, definitely woo. You're wooing for justice, right?
Their desperation is so palpable. There is zero presumption of innocence by the ruling class for Luigi Mangione. They want Luigi dead. They're even trying to hit Luigi Mangione with a terrorism charge, even though he only murdered one person.
So I'll tell you another reason why they're hitting him with a terrorism charge. Because on social media, you're not allowed to be sympathetic to terrorists, as this was pointed out by Due Dissidents. Especially on Facebook, if you're seen being, yes, so you can't be seen supporting that's why that's how they kicked off YouTube. They got rid of Jackson the Hair Hinkle because they said he was propping up and glorifying terrorists. Of course, the biggest terrorist in the world is the United States.
We don't know if the guy did it yet,
and we don't even know if this guy did it. But that's
it seems odd that he says he didn't do it, and why would he carry his manifesto with him and his murder jacket and his
there's lots of really things that make you skeptical of this case. Doesn't make any sense that a guy who was a valedictorian.
It's moving real fast too, almost like we got to get this frame up done.
Yeah, and by the way, the eyewitnesses said the guy who shot the executive was waiting in his car all night. Was waiting there all night, but the FBI said that Luigi left his hotel at 5:15 in the morning. So which is it?
Well, the FBI wouldn't lie. So
the FBI wouldn't lie. Why would they lie? Here we go.
Ruling class can't help but to remind us peasants how much less they value our lives compared to the capitalist CEO class. As I covered in
That's right. Of course, that a millionaire CEO who did a $120 million stock scam dump. His life is worth how many non-millionaire citizens is worth one high-end pharma executive? Let me get out my Israeli value over everyone else slide rule and see what he's actually worth.
I can't believe he's wearing the same stuff as Lee Harvey Oswald. That's shocking.
Here we are.
CEO class. As I covered in a previous hotspot, the story of Luigi Mangione doesn't pass the smell test, and I still maintain the fact that he may be innocent. Luigi deserves a fair trial and the presumption of innocence.
He certainly. There's a lot of people skeptical of that. It's that guy. That Luigi is actually that guy. There's a lot of people very skeptical of that. Here's a guy. So now you know why they're charging him with terrorism. They're moving faster on this trial than anybody else. Here's a guy, attorney Brian Buckmeyer. He's going to tell you about why they're moving so fast and on this case.
Unusual is an understatement. In my decade of practicing in the state of New York, specifically in New York City, being able to practice both in New York criminal court, Supreme Court, Brooklyn, all over, and also practicing in the Southern District of New York, where Luigi Mangione will be prosecuted, I've never seen things move this quickly. I've never seen a question of getting him from one state to court, seeing the feds jump in almost in front of the state court as they've already secured an indictment. And then, as I think Aaron appropriately said, this turf war between the two, everyone kind of wanting their piece of Luigi Mangione to try to secure a conviction. What likely will happen is the feds will likely go first, and the state charges will be at somewhat of a pause before some resolution is found, and then we'll kind of just see the next steps going forward. We'll see what evidence comes out and the difference of charges between state and federal prosecution.
It is weird. I wonder why this is happening so fast. I mean, I guess we'll never be able to solve this mystery. Okay, on to the next fake thing. I mean, they dress him up in orange. They don't put a vest on him. They're walking him around, leaving a giant opening for anybody to take a shot, and nothing happened. Now they have to go to trial and explain themselves. I bet they were really wishing this was over by now. Health insurance leaders pressured health insurance leaders pressured the Department of Justice to charge Luigi Mangione. This is real.
When was this? When was the shooting? Do you remember what date? Was it before or after the 25th?
The shooting?
Yeah.
When did he shoot him? It was at what date was the shooting? I don't know.
Because they just put that, what's her name, Jessica Tisch, the second woman, but I believe first civilian in a while police commissioner whose family is heavily invested in United Health.
Oh, really?
And she just came in. She just happened to be made commissioner at the same time. And New York Post, for example, is like, oh, she's in charge and a no-nonsense woman's taking it. All this bullshit. The mayor's sucking up. You see the mayor doing little speeches of like, how this, hey, what are you cheering for this guy?
Yeah.
They're all in on this.
Yes. They're all upset that people are sympathetic, and they got to tamp down the plebes. They got to really shut the plebe. Hey, you know what? If you kill him, you just make him a hero forever, by the way. If they execute him, the one thing that gets these people off the hook is if you set them free. It's the only way to make America forget, and you have to keep it out of the news. I realize this wasn't on their bingo card, but...
Dude, look at the Trump trials, how off they were. You think they're not going to do that to this guy?
Right? Of course.
Trump was just like mean on Twitter. This guy.
According to reporting by Joe Marino, Ben Kochman, and Matt Troutman last week, health insurance leaders pressured the Department of Justice to make an example of Luigi Mangione by bringing federal charges against him in a surprise announcement that caught his lawyers off guard. If tried in federal court, Mangione could be sentenced to death, silencing any further criticism of the American healthcare system he decried in his manifesto. Again, if you sentence him to death, you're just going to make him a bigger hero. So Luigi may in fact be the healthcare Jesus, is what I'm taking from this. Right? Does anyone else notice that he pled not guilty and has not been proven guilty? But everyone already talks like it's a done deal. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
According to the Post report, federal charges came amid pressure from health insurance industry leaders to make an example about Mangione. The Post also writes that the decision to unveil federal charges came from the top of the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. Wow, so they want to make an example out of him. And my prediction is that example is going to backfire big time, and we're going to see a lot more examples made, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like, is that the goal? What is this? They want to get this frame up done real quick and then censor you online.
Yep, censor you online because he's a terrorist, so you can't say anything nice. How and when healthcare industry leaders tried to strong-arm the Department of Justice remains unclear. But the top 3 Department of Justice officials under Attorney General Merrick Garland have all represented massive healthcare companies during their respective stints in private practice before joining the Department of Justice. No kidding. I knew there was a reason he seemed so great. Lisa Monaco, the Deputy U.S. Attorney General, previously worked as a partner at the law firm O'Melveny & Myers. At O'Melveny & Myers, Monaco represented Humana, the 5th largest U.S. health insurance company, according to her financial disclosure. Notably, O'Melveny & Myers also successfully defended United Health in a suit brought by United Health Group insured patients earlier this year. Wow. Of course they're going to bring those guys in on this case. The number 3 at the Department of Justice, acting associate A.J. Benjamin Miser, also represented healthcare and pharmaceutical giant Sanofi Aventis. Finally, number 4 at the Department of Justice, Solicitor General Elizabeth Proligar reported Lumos Pharma, Sinos Health, and Amegan as former clients on her disclosure. No kidding. Luigi Mangione, judge, married to former healthcare exec. It says that she's a former pharmaceutical executive, Jimmy. That means she has no influence on this case at all, because now she's back just being a regular old housewife. Not everything is a big conspiracy except this.
Yeah, and also your government and how business works and everything around you.
Yeah. His pretrial judge is married to former executive at Pfizer, according to a shocking report. Color me not shocked. Magistrate Parker, who has handled Mangione's pretrial hearings, is married to Brett Parker, who stopped working at Pfizer in 2010. She also has hundreds of thousands in stock, according to reports. The judge holds between 50 and 100 grand in Pfizer stock. Well, it had to triple during COVID, including stock in other healthcare industries like Abbott Laboratories, Vitreus, and CRISPR Therapeutics. Her husband still collects a pension from his former employer. What?
Hey, so it's still paying you, isn't it?
Yes.
Even if you don't work there.
Parker also has holdings in Alphabet, meaning Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Tesla, and Apple, amongst others.
This is all military-industrial complex. It's all part of the same complex. It's all the same complex.
How do you say the wealthy are realizing that their asses are on notice everywhere without actually saying it? Parker is not expected to handle Mangione's trial for the killing of... So there you go. And Daily Beast, infiltrated by the CIA. Just so you know, 100%. Come see us on tour in Los Angeles, Honolulu, Dallas, Texas, Baltimore, Atlantic City, Cohoes, New York, and Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets, and only there.